In my mind, the problem of evil is often directed at God, but I would redirect a person asking that, because the problem isn't God in this mix, but it's those who work for him. If you were going through the drive-thru and someone got irritated with you, you wouldn't blame the McDonald's if they attacked you. Okay, it would be the individual that was attacking you that was at fault there. This isn't a systemic problem. It's an individual problem, because God did make an order to things. Within creation, there are men, there are animals, an earthly created order. But there's also a divine created order, spiritual beings who are present throughout the biblical narrative, and how they impact the story throughout drastically changes the outcome of the narrative, and always around issues of sin and holiness, maintaining versus violating sacred space, and God's mission on earth, which that is all to do with humanity, bringing them up to God in community, in a real familial state with him. God wants a family. That was the purpose in the beginning, still is now. So then we have these divine beings as well, angels, who are aligned with God's rule. What do? Well, they're glorifying, protecting, fighting for God's purposes. And then the enemy, what does he do? He's subverting, attacking mankind, trying to bring him under submission. We have no problem saying man has a will to do as he pleases. But it gets muddy for people when they say God can allow good and evil to coexist without destroying it and still be holy. God already said he's going to deal with it, though. That's set in his mind. But God doesn't tell mankind everything happening, because man and the enemy would subvert it. Attacks always come to try to subvert God's work. These aren't always just mechanisms of the world, but of the enemy. So, when the challenge comes from a learned individual questioning the goodness of God, I say, whoa there. God already took care of that. Did you see that in the story? Because it's spelled out throughout the whole thing. There's war going on, and Jesus' actions definitely ended the question of who has authority on earth and heaven. It's Jesus. But as to who you give your allegiance to, that is still unsettled, because you will have your own will. You want a real problem of evil? It's God giving those we would say are sinners justice on wholesale. That's not what he's done, though. He's given space, time, places for people to interact, hospitals, university, things for people to engage critically and think through problems like this. Places where we can start to think about how God overlaps with humanity, how God could enter that story with individuals and start to bring change like he did with Jesus. That's our call too, and we will have forces against us. But the problem of evil isn't so much of evil itself, it's one of the legions. And I think if we read the biblical story, it's pretty clear who we're supposed to have allegiance to.